Hi there, I'm Michaela with Michaela's Counseling. This is part of my series on Marsha Linehan's book about borderline personality disorder, and I'm excited about talking about these different concepts because Marsha has some wonderful wisdom hidden in this very thick volume on treatment of borderline personality disorder, and I just want to break it down in ways that, make it easier for people to understand, especially if you haven't read this book. And I'm speaking both to clinicians, to people with and to people who've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder or who are highly sensitive, and so can maybe use some of these insights and these tools. So I'm going to explain in this video one of the binds, one of the things that just makes it super tough for people with borderline personality disorder or highly sensitive people. One thing that makes their relationships really tough, and then I'm going to give you a tool that you can work with that can really, really help you to get out of this pattern. So the thing that I want to talk about is this problem that people get into where they are in an eternal now. What I mean by that is if you're angry with somebody with borderline, that is what they're focusing on right now, and they don't remember last week. They don't remember yesterday, at least like maybe intellectually, they've got the memory. Emotionally, they do not have the sense of the affection that you shared a week ago. And so if you're borderline or if you're struggling, I want you to really think about this and really realize that sometimes what's happening is your body and your emotions are getting hijacked. And so you perceive something like rejection, you perceive something like insensitivity, your fear of being abandoned gets triggered, or you feel invalidated. And just want you to notice part of what happens because of that sensitivity that you have is that there's some way that you're hyper focusing on right now. And even more than that, you're actually noticing only the cues that confirm the thing that you're afraid of. And so rather than maybe seeing the care in your partner's eyes underneath their anger, or rather than, remembering that your therapist has been available for you week after week, whatever it is, sometimes what's happening, and it's not your fault, is that this emotion is taking over, this fear is taking over. And so you're feeling like now is forever. Now, this can happen with positive emotions too, and it can make things scary in a different way because you might get really, really wrapped up in a really positive feeling and actually forget that the person that you feel really wonderful towards right now is kind of a jerk last week and the week before. So this makes more sense to me of some of the DBT skills that ours had. And I want to do kind of a twist on some of the DBT skills because I'm not sure that I've actually heard this specific resource talked about, which doesn't mean it isn't, but I want to give you a tool. Whether you're somebody who struggles with this eternal now, or you're somebody who knows somebody who experiences this kind of phenomenon where they have a really hard time um, orienting past the current moment and what they're afraid of. And so here's what I want to suggest is that you actually make a list. Maybe you journal, maybe, if you're artistic, you do some pictures. But what I'd like you to try is just putting together some positive experiences, some positive memories. So let's say that you're in a relationship right now and there is some way that from time to time you just feel desperate. You just feel like you're going to get abandoned, you're going to get hurt, and you're lashing out or you're withdrawing. Or let's say that sometimes you feel unlovable or you feel enraged and invalidated and like this person never understands you. I don't know exactly, obviously, like what the emotion is that you're dealing with. But one way to counter that feeling you get in those moments is to have some evidence to the contrary. And so, if you can take a clear moment or really just notice loving moments, caring moments, moments that convey to you that you're cared for, and start writing them down, start keeping a record. And what that's going to do is it's going to help you to get past that feeling in those moments that you're triggered, that that trigger is all there is, or that feeling of unlovability or rejection is all there is. And it'll give you some other stuff to look at and orient to. And it doesn't mean that you won't still feel hurt. It doesn't mean that you're not being invalidated at times or having some really rough patches in your relationship. All it means is that it'll help you to orient to more information and to really see both the good and the bad. And so this can help to counter habits like splitting, and this can help to counter that feeling that just like now is the only moment that exists, and the worst feelings are the only representations you have of what's going on. So obviously, if you're a partner of somebody who's dealing with this, you might encourage them, and you want to validate the hard feelings that they're having, but also really notice, you're not remembering, that nice dinner that we had last night at this moment. And so you might work with your partner or your friend or your client, as the case may be, on really finding ways, really finding times that you can really orient to the positive, because it will help to develop more of a sense of resources and help to kind of fight that sense that now is the only moment there is, and bad feelings are the only ones that exist. Could you please let me know if this video is helpful, or comment? Let me know if you have questions or kind of what perspective you're coming at this from, because it always helps to hear what other people are thinking and to know what's helpful in these videos too, and what can be improved. So this has been Michaela with Michaela's Counseling. This is part of my series on Marsha Linehan's book, Cognitive Behavioral Treatment of Borderline Personality Disorder. And I am a therapist in private practice, and I'm pretty much in these videos just summarizing the book and giving kind of the Michaela flavor on my takeaways from this. Thank you. Goodbye.